Heyo everybody, Haku here with my read-through, live reaction, whatever, for Omniscient Reader or Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, chapters 9 through 12. Before we get into it, just a couple things to mention, just sort of as an intro, I guess. Pretty excited to start reading, though. We really haven't gotten too much into the series yet, so there's not like a ton to discuss. When it comes to how many chapters I want to do per video, like I said when I first started doing this, the plan is to go like 30 minutes to an hour every single time, so just however many chapters that ends up being. But let me know what you think of this comment from Secretive Plotter about which sort of chapter breakdowns I should go through for the next few videos. I got another comment or two that kind of pretty much lined up with this too. I just thought that this one seemed like maybe the best to go by. Also because it's like 3 to 5 chapters a week, and from what it seems like so far, it feels like every chapter is going to be like 10 to 15 minutes, so I feel like I don't mind going over an hour. So it feels like 3 to 5 chapters a week is probably good. Just let me know what you all think, but I guess unless somebody has something to contradict this, I feel like I'll just stick with this for now as the schedule. But yeah, just let me know. Also, I've started using a sort of a noise filter. Hopefully it makes the audio sound better. Sorry, my throat's kind of dry. So yeah, I started using a noise filter. I hope it sounds alright. I tested it out by using it when I recorded those One Piece discussion videos that I just posted, because I'm like, okay, so if it messes up anything, if it makes the audio choppy, if it screws up with the if it screws up the audio at all whatsoever, then it's like, you know, I don't want to re-record things, but at least I can re-record the One Piece discussions. I wanted to test it on a video like that first before I did it for any read-through videos, because like these are my live reactions. I can't re-record these really and still have my first reaction. So yeah, hopefully that makes things sound better. It sounded better when I used it on the One Piece videos. But we'll see how things go. One thing is that I'm using Webtoons, of course, to read this, and Webtoons and OBS just doesn't like Webtoons. I feel like anything else I'm doing, anything else I have open while I'm recording, perfectly fine. Sometimes when I'm doing my Tower of God reactions and stuff on the week to week, it feels like when I'm using Webtoons, OBS sometimes feels a little bit choppy, a little stuttery to me. So that is something I'm worried about. But, you know, either way, I guess that's all I need to talk about. So let me just bring up the actual chapter here. And once I do that, we can just go ahead and start reading chapter 9. And then yeah, I'll go through 12 for this video. I'm still a little bit behind, and I don't want to like, I don't know, I don't want to like just say, oh, well, I'm skipping a week. So since I'm behind, I'm still just going to try to post this. I'm going to try to post the next one as soon as possible after this, until we just catch up to the schedule, which might not be the smartest way to do things, but I want to make sure to give all of you as much as I can, I guess. But yeah, either way, I don't know. I kind of went off the rails there because I hadn't really planned any of that. But yeah, let's just start reading chapter 9, see what we get into. We just got the introduction of the sponsors. I think that's probably like the most interesting concept, and it's kind of hard to say that because I like the world in general. I like the survival game. But yeah, I'm excited to see how the sponsors are going to play into things, probably even more than what the next game is going to be, or what the powers are going to be like, though I am really interested in what the powers are going to be like, because we really, I mean, I guess we kind of maybe got a little bit of a taste of it with Namwoon, but I don't feel like it. I don't think so. I think we really still just, at least for me at 8 chapters in, I don't know what the power system's going to be like at all yet. At least I don't think so. So yeah, let's go ahead and just start reading. We're starting off with a crash at the door from where the main character's locked in. We saw a bunch of flames in there, so I'm assuming, I guess they have a flame-related ability. I mentioned before that I think the sponsor out of the 4, if you only get to pick one out of the 4, You know, I was assuming that, but now that I'm thinking about it, do you maybe get to pick more than one? But if you only get one, I think that Dokja's going to go with the secretive plotter, just because he gave this big explanation for the first one, the dragon one. Then he gave a big explanation for Uriel, I believe was the archangel. And then he was like, secretive plotter, I don't know what that's all about. And then he gave a big explanation for Sun Wukong, which he might choose because he seemed like it was a really good choice. But the fact that he just skimmed over secretive plotter makes me think, oh, that's the one that he's going to end up picking, right? But we have everybody's reactions here. Alright. Again, the art just looks gorgeous. Dokja over here. Okay, I'm going to open it. Start creaking it open. And this is interesting. Usually you would think the main character would be like a good guy. But it seems like the main character's scary because Dokja's really trying to get away with him. And also we know that the main character worked with Nam Woon in the TWSA story. This one's broken too. But it's still the only chance the only one we have a chance at opening. Coins possessed, 4,700. I could use my coins again and increase my strength this time, but who knows what will happen recklessly using using my coins so early on could be dangerous. Okay. And then, Hyunsung, use your skill. What? Personal skill, character profile activated. By skill you mean... And we have Hyunsung Lee. Age 28, supporting constellation, Master of Steel. Okay, so this again could be so many. Oh, this can be so many options because there's so many aren't like Hephaestus and Vulcan like the same thing, gods of smithing. It could be one of them. They're the only two okay, oh man. The only smithing gods that come to mind, there are probably, again, just tons of them, are like Hephaestus/Vulcan, or, what was the one that's referenced in, gosh, I don't remember, the Yoruba god of smithing, or fire, or steel, or whatever, that is referenced in Fire Force. I forget his name, because one of the characters is named after him. I don't remember, but it could be that too. Personal attributes. Okay, this is long. The personal attribute for Namun was Edgelord. This one is Soldier who turned a blind eye to injustice. General. Personal skills, Bayonet level 2, Camouflage level 2, and Patience level 2. Stigma, Great Mountain Push, overall stats. He has pretty high stats, I think, compared to the other ones we saw. Hyunsung Lee has a very good overall stats, although how readily he turned a blind eye to injustice was surprising. A constellation still selected him. This is another opportunity for him. Okay, so we're setting up for some backstory. And I guess that makes sense for the character to find out that they're a soldier who turned a blind eye to injustice. It makes sense because, at least from what we know so far from TWSA, the main character was along with the two who survived from this car, which had to have been Namun and Hyunsung in TWSA. So in that timeline, again, he would have had to turn a blind eye to whatever the main character and Namun were doing. Thankfully, a supporting constellation and attribute are the same as the novel. You probably checked your skills when you opened your attributes window earlier. You're in the army, so there must be a skill you can use right now. Well, I do have one, but I don't know how to use it. Exactly. It's like, even if you were told that you have skills by some sort of video game screen, it's like, okay, how do I activate that? Just imagine yourself using it. That's all it takes. And then he yells, starts pulling the doors apart. all of the Mr. Han faces. It worked. It really worked. Hyunsung Lee has begun to trust you. Your understanding of Hyunsung Lee has increased. Looks like the Stigma Great Mountain Push successfully activated. He's so simple-minded. The steel door connected to subway cabin 3707 will break soon. Run! And they're just going down the tracks. But if memory serves me right, the steel door isn't the problem. Gosh, I knew this would happen. And now we have the Dokkaebi again. I told you earlier to stay put. I love its faces. Damn it. I'm not done preparing the next scenario. I knew it. I told you we should stay inside. Ha. Well, I guess I have no choice. You're very lucky human beings. The second scenario has arrived. And then the screens pop up in front of them all again. Sub-scenario escape. Category sub. Difficulty E. So this is like a side quest. Clear conditions. Get across the collapsed bridge and enter Oksu Station. The time limit is 20 minutes and the reward is 200 coins. And a surprise penalty for failure. I knew it. Dokja, something doesn't feel right. It says collapsed bridge, but the bridge isn't. Don't worry about it and just run. Sangha is right. The bridge is still intact because we got off the train too early. Current location. In other words, the bridge definitely will collapse. We have Oksu Station. It might seem underhanded, but it's impossible to clear the scenario without going around the rules. I'm sorry if it annoys anyone. I hate to, continue to say the same thing again and again and again, but I'm just constantly, blown away again and again and again at how good the art looks. I really love the style. And then, we're cutting it close, but I think we'll make it, he thinks, looking back at the others. What the hell is that? And we have this whirlpool churning down, and then one of the ichthyosaurs, I think they were called, comes out. Which is weird, because aren't ichthyosaurs in reality, aren't they just old primordial dolphins, essentially? It's an ichthyosaur. No, a sea serpent. Maybe a sea commander from its size, he thinks. And then it roars. It's coming. The bridge is going to collapse. Run. We can make it across if we run. The ichthyosaur doesn't go after incarnations early on in the story. It probably showed up to destroy the bridge. Okay, that makes sense. So it's not after them, but just the bridge. Also, it's wild to think that they might be fighting something like that in the future, because the scale is just so massive. We only have about 200 yards left. At this speed, we'll be able to cross the bridge before it collapses. It's no fun if the game is too easy, is it? And then we see the Dokkaebi overhead. Oh no. What's the fun in you getting away safely? Let's shake things up a bit. The difficulty of the scenario has been adjusted from E to D. The evil thoughts of the dead have returned. Black ether is rising from the surrounding earth. Oh? So we're gonna have zombie apocalypse then? Zombies? Demonic beings have been resurrected. You bastards. Dokja, you've entered Oksu Station. Okay. So did those two make it? Or is it just they've made it in general, but now they still have to fight off the zombies? It looks like these three are surrounded, though. Damn it. Everyone get down. And now, we have the ichthyosaur chomping down onto the bridge. Dokja! And we get cliffhung. What a cliffhanger. Alright. Episode 9, Chapter 2, The Protagonist Part 3. That was really good. That was really, really good. I feel like every chapter's been really, really good, so it's not like that's saying anything. But yeah, I guess there's really not too much to discuss that I didn't talk about in the middle of the video. I'm gonna have to go look up that one thing between chapters. Hold on, I'm just gonna take a jump cut between chapters. Ogun is who I was thinking of. Ogun he appears in a bunch of African religions, but specifically Yoruba is a hero or a god or a spirit, and is the god of iron and metalworking. So that's who I was thinking of. So it could be my knowledge, my breadth of smithing gods, I guess, extends to Ogun, Hephaestus, and Vulcan. So it's either one of those or another steelworking god that I don't know of. That's the one who is sponsoring Hyunsung, but also Sangha. We know they all probably have sponsors because I think everybody gets one, or maybe not. Maybe not everybody gets one, at least immediately. But I thought that Sangha had 2 choices, right? So we still don't know what those are, right? Unless I'm just forgetting. But either way, let's just go ahead and read chapter 10. I just had to go look that up because I was like, I know there was one that was referenced in Fire Force, but I could not remember what it was. I knew it was the Yoruba god of metalworking. I was like, it's on the tip of my brain. It's going to bother me if I don't go look it up. But either way, let's just start reading. We got depictions of violence that may be upsetting for some readers, probably because they're going to be chopping through the zombies or whatever. And we have them reacting to what happened last time. You okay? And then we've got Dokja in the aftermath. We see a chunk of the bridge taken down. But I guess this separates them from the main character. But this was also something that I was bringing up in like my first videos or whatever, that I was like, I think is going to be a conflict in the story. And it was even brought up in like chapter 1 or 2. It was brought up like super early on, where Dokja's like, if I do too much to change the story from what it is, then I'm going to have less foresight, less prescience. I'm going to know less of what happens ahead of time because I've changed the story too much. But at the same time, it seems like he has to change the story, first so that he could survive, and then again, I guess he's changing the story to get away from the main character for whatever reason that we don't know yet. All right. Now we see Mr. Han and Sangha are fine, but the zombies are all knocked over. All right, episode 10, chapter 2, the protagonist, part 4. And then we see the ichthyosaur presumably leaving after having taken down the bridge. The bridge has collapsed. I had known something like this might happen, but I hadn't expected Myung-oh and Sangha to survive. Gil-young and Hyun-sung made it to safety in one piece. Now what? Someone has received the blessing of a constellation. Oh? The constellation's blessing has activated Deus Ex Machina in this scenario. And we have some sort of crackling happening. Deus Ex Machina, bridge of even numbers. A bridge of light created by the blessing of a constellation can be crossed by only an even number of people. The bridge will collapse if an odd number of people attempt to cross it. Deus Ex Machina. Dokja, in my head, this thing suddenly... Okay, so this has to be from her constellation, because she... I swear that they said something like she had a choice between 2 or something like that. So he's looking shocked, because again, he didn't expect the 2 of them to survive. Okay. Deus Ex Machina, a power that lets a constellation directly intervene in the scenario at a great cost. So it's like a super chat from the sponsors watching. Did Sanga's supporting constellation intervene in order to save her? But this kind of intervention was rare even in TWSA. So I guess that explains why I'm so surprised too that somebody's intervening to save her, who the constellation has to have just met, basically, because she didn't even survive in the story. And yet something that was rare is happening right here at the beginning, basically. What kind of constellation could be supporting her? Activate character profile. This person's profile cannot be browsed using character profile. This character doesn't have a registered character profile. Or, that's interesting. Or did he actually choose Sun Wukong since he seemed so into it, but she ended up with Secretive Plotter? That would sort of make sense for the mystery. Why can't I browse her profile with my skill? Does she have a special constellation supporting her? Or maybe she has the mental barrier skill, but there's no way she could already have that skill. Dokja, behind you. And we have a zombie coming in that he knocks away. Oh, and it looked like it might have been Namwoon from the hair and the light green of the jacket. Starting to stand back up. I guess this isn't the time to be lost in thought. Tier 9 humanoid demon, a mutant species infected by the black ether. Once normal humans, humanoid demons are no different from zombies. but they can be quite dangerous if their host happens to be somebody who was powerful. And of all people... Okay, so Namun again as a zombie. It just had to be him. Personal skill, Omniscient Reader's viewpoint activated. This character doesn't possess a consciousness. Deactivated Omniscient Reader's viewpoint. Okay, so that's interesting. So it does work. So much more like I said last time to go read Magical Girl Raising Project, and that it was similar to one of the characters there. One of the characters there, Snow White, has the ability... Okay, so a little bit of a side tangent. In Magical Girl Raising Project, everybody has one single skill, and one of the really great things about how the novels are written are the skill is worded a certain way, and it's interesting to see all the different applications that characters can figure out to use for that skill. One character's, and like everybody only gets one skill. One character's only one skill is to hear the hearts of those in need, which helps them go to help people who are in need because they can hear that they're in trouble. But also they found out to use it in a combat application. They can be like, as they're fighting someone, they can hear the person's heart being like, oh no, they shouldn't hit me here, that would be bad. Or, oh no, I hope they don't figure out that I'm going to attack this way. So they, like, it's a combat use for that. And it seems like this is even more similar to that because it doesn't work if the character doesn't have a consciousness. I would have thought that it's just they know what's going to happen because, like, they're the Omniscient Reader. But it seems like they don't get to know what happens, like, story-wise. It has to do with whoever their opponent's consciousness is, because he can't tell when the opponent doesn't have a consciousness. Damn it. I had a feeling it wouldn't work. All we can do now is to get across the bridge of even numbers somehow. But there are three of us right now, me, Sangan, Myung-o. One of us has to stay behind him and die, or he just goes across with the zombie. I was trying to work out the math in my head how they were going to do this. It's like one of those like logic puzzles that you have to do like in middle school or whatever. But it's like, I guess he could just take the zombie across with him. One of us has to stay behind and die. And we get a recap of the rules. Sangak get, and then we have Han just lifting her. Let go of me, let go. Dokja, his face. Dokja, he's just running across the bridge. He's leaving me behind? Myung-o, that bastard. The constellation, the secretive plotter, is impressed by your foolishness. The constellation, the demonic judge of fire, is touched by your selflessness. You've been gifted 100 coins. Character profile. And then this person's profile cannot be browsed. If I'm not mistaken, that stigma, one-legged Swiftfoot, belongs to the constellation Limping Trickster. No clue. Is that one Loki? That constellation doesn't endow its incarnations with the mental barrier stigma. Alright, and a stigma is a special power endowed to incarnations by the constellations. Okay, so we saw the stigma that allowed Hyunsung to pull the door open, and I was like, oh, I guess stigma's just a type of skill. But now we see the difference where skills are more of a personal thing, but stigmas are skills that come from whatever you select your constellation to be. Okay. And since there's no way Myung-o could have that kind of skill, the reason why my skill didn't work on Sangan Myung-o was that, how stupid of me, it's because they're not characters that appear in TWSA. Smart! I mean smart like in terms of the author of this, in terms of the writing. Not smart in terms of Dokja. But he mentioned before, again, we had it built up from like the first chapter or two, that the more he changes the story, the harder it'll be for him. And we're seeing again, things that I thought we would see the effects of way down the line. Once again, we're seeing the effects of already. Where it's affecting him already that he's changed the story. Because now there are characters that aren't in the story, so he can't tell. That's so smart in the way that it's written. That's so good. It's obvious when you think about it. That's so good. And then the zombies are rushing again. Come on, think. I can't cross the bridge alone. What if I grab a demon to cross the bridge with me? No, it's probably not going to work. Only 15 minutes left until the scenario ends and the Dokumi's just watching. I love the Dokumi. It's so cute. Wow, you're doing pretty... Look at its face. I love it. I love the Dokumi. Wow, you're doing pretty well. Okay, is there any constellation who wishes to bless this poor incarnation? Oh my, nobody? Tisk tisk, how unfortunate. And we see everybody else waiting at the station. My body can't handle much more of this. And then he's backing up towards the edge. Man, it just looks so gorgeous. I might actually die this time. Damn it, if I only had just one combat skill, it wouldn't be this hard. And we see a screen pop up behind him. Personal skill bookmark activated. Huh? Is he going to be able to bomb 25th Kirby this? Is he going to like bookmark the skills of people he's fought before and going to use Namwoon's skill? Bookmark? Because that's what it makes me think of. Activating character bookmarks. Available slots 3. Loading the list of bookmarks that can be activated. List of bookmarked characters. Delusional Demon Namwoon Kim, understanding 25. Steelblade Hyunsung Lee, understanding 35, and an empty slot. So I'm assuming that's interesting. So he has... I wonder if that means he's going to have 3 slots that, as he gains understanding of characters, he can copy their skills. I think that would make sense. And then either he'll have to drop one in order to bookmark a new one, or maybe he'll unlock more slots throughout the game. That's interesting, so I think he is going to be able to copy their abilities. I've read over 3,000 episodes of TWSA, but I've never read about this skill anywhere. And then the zombies are still roaring, but I still instinctively understood how it worked. Activate bookmark number 1, so he's going to copy Namwoon's skills. And we're getting reminded of it. Activating bookmark number 1, the activation time has been shortened due to the low level of the bookmark skill. Activation time 1 minute. Your understanding of the character is low, so the character's skills were only partially activated. Okay, so I guess the more he understands and the more he levels, the more time he gets with the skill. The way it says the activation time is 1 minute, I'm thinking that means he can use it for 1 minute. So I guess the activation time increases as he increases the bookmark skill. I would think that's what it means. And also that as he understands a character more, he can then use the abilities better. Activating Grimdark Awakening, level 1. Sorry, get my cursor off screen. Alright. And then seems to be activating it. I mean, honestly, I don't really... I mean, he just sort of made a sort of ephemeral copy of himself, or ethereal copy of himself. Alright. I don't want to die. I'm assuming it's just like a dark elemental power buff is what it seemed like it was before, but, you know. Whatever. Or I wonder if it works how we mentioned before, like with the one potential sponsor, if it like buffs his abilities but at the cost of sanity going down, like you mentioned before. Maybe that's how it works. Your understanding of Namwoon Kim is increased. Deactivated bookmark number 1. Sub-scenario escape, well, you know, same thing we saw before. Alright. Time remaining 10 minutes 11 seconds. And are we going to get cliff hung? That's a large gap. Hopefully I didn't miss a panel. Wow, I'm so exhausted. Seriously. He's late, but he should be showing up any moment now. Ah, he could cross with the main character. We have this big slam behind the zombies. And they all start turning around. This is going to be interesting. Because, again, why was he trying... There he is. Why was he trying to avoid him? Ah, man. Okay, I guess let's, again, very, very good chapter. I talked about it a lot as I was reading through it. Insanely good. Let's just go on to chapter 11, because I feel like there's not really much discussion to do at the end of the chapter, because I talked all throughout during the chapter. So it's like, let me just go to the next one, and I'll talk through that one as we're going through it. All right, let's just read chapter 11, see what we get here. So we're seeing the bridge from before. We have the slamming and crashing. And then everybody turning back to look at the main character. We're finally going to get introduced to them. Also, they're dressed like a complete edgelord already. So I wonder what the main character is going to be like, you know, in that sense. Because they're like full-on weeb dressed. They have a sword. Episode 11. Alright. They have like a priest collar looking thing, a trench coat, a sword. Alright. Who the hell are you? I'm supposed to go up against this guy. I don't stand a chance against him. Character profile. Personal skill character profile activated. There's too much information about this character. Converting character profile to character summary. We have character summary, or is it Junhyuk? Would that be how it's pronounced? Junhyuk or Junhyuk? But Junhyuk Yu, and of course they've switched the names around for the translation, so it should be like Yu Junhyuk. The attribute, the regressor, third round mythical, pro gamer, rare, personal skill, Eye of the Sage, level 8, close combat. So he's like the OP protagonist. Close combat, level 8, weapons proficiency, level 8, mental barrier, level 5. So he has mental barrier, crowd control, level 5, reasoning, level 5, lie detection. Okay, so lie detections, that's not going to be good for Dokja. Grabs him by the throat. What an edgelord. This is the true edgelord. How are you still alive? The first way of surviving the apocalypse. This man who's strangling me is living proof of the first method. And we have Junhyuk Yu, the regressor. This is the man who will kickstart the tragedy that will turn this world upside down. Chapter 2, The Protagonist, Part 5. And we have Hyunsung looking across. It's not working. I can't see a thing. I think there's a barrier, like this. I think there's a barrier like there was in the subway. Sorry. For some reason I was struggling with that. Dokja. And he's being held over the side. Name. What? What is your name? He's so full of himself. He's definitely acting the part of a protagonist. Dr. Kim. What a strange name. I get that a lot. And then he punches him for no reason. You have a strong body. I see you've already figured out how to use the coins. Yeah, I'm assuming you also... So he's like the kind of character that in your generic isekai is like, I can play the system because I have played video games before, and I'm treating this like a video game. It's basically that. Yeah, I'm assuming you also... And then he hits him again. Damn it, how's he so strong when we've only just cleared one main mission and we're just now clearing a sub-mission? What a monster. Don't waste your breath. Just answer the questions I ask you. Got it? This is the worst. I was hoping this wouldn't happen. In the early chapters, Junhyuk is the most dangerous character in the world of TWSA. He's lost his humanity after having regressed 3 times already. The Junhyuk now won't hesitate to do whatever it takes to get what he wants. So that's interesting. Regressed 3 times. No clue what that means yet. Well, fine. Show me some respect. Why should I? He hits him again. But he blocks him. Sorry, but you're younger than me, pro gamer, Junhyuk Yu. So you're the one who should show me some respect. Junghyuk Yu has become cautious of you. Do you know who I am? Of course, I work for a game company. That's a lie. Junghyuk Yu was a fictional character to me existing in TWSA. That is, until now. You're pretty famous. I used to be a fan of yours. And his name was just a setting in the novel. Or his fame was just a setting in the novel. But I'm not lying when I'm saying that I used to be a fan of his. I liked you, hated you, resented you, and cheered for you. I was with you throughout your 3,000 episode journey. A fan. I haven't heard that in a while. I'll forgive you for your impudence, but that won't change anything. What a nerd! What a weeb! I can see that. I have only one question for you. How did you survive the subway? I knew he would ask me this. If I tell you, will you let me live? That depends on your answer. Liar. I can tell just by looking at his face. I'm not the only reader of TWSA for nothing. What can I say to make this damn regressor let me live? Your understanding of Junghyuk Yu is increased. You already have a high understanding of this character. Huh? You have unlocked level 2 of your personal skill, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. Activate your personal skill? Only Hyunsung Lee and Namun Kim were supposed to survive, but Namun Kim is dead and other people survived instead. How did they manage to survive, and who is this man? Okay, so this guy seems to know the future too then. I need information. If I deem him a threat, I will kill him. Can I read his mind? Like I could with Namun. Okay, so it's weird that he can see how the story's supposed to go as well. And he smirks. How I managed to survive is... You cleared the scenario by killing insects? I was lucky. I was able to spot the kid with the insects because he fell due to the explosion in the car in front of us. The future has changed, he thinks. The explosion, the insects... It'll come as a shock to him. Your mouth is wide open. There was supposed to be a battle to the death in subway car 3807, and only Namun Kim and Hyunsung Lee should have survived. Did I cause this? Was it because I started out by killing them with an explosion unlike in my previous runs? Okay, previous runs. So we're getting into super... we're just throwing extra layers on top of this. We already had the layer of the game itself and the meta layer of Dokja's abilities, but now we're adding yet another meta layer of this guy having done runs through this before. Still, something's not right. He's too calm for a newbie. The world is turned upside down and he's taking it in stride, abnormally so. He must be the one who killed Namun Kim. He's much more than just useful. He's dangerous. If you're done with your questions, can you let me go? Let's move on to Oksu Station together. We're running out of time. Not so fast. Everything fits too perfectly. This is Junhyuk's SS grade skill, the Eye of the Sage. The Eye of the Sage not only allows you to see someone's attributes window, but also someone's hidden information. It's the highest grade detection skill. I've been wondering why he wasn't using it. No, maybe this is for the best. I still don't know what my attributes are or what skills I have. Even if Junghyuk finds out what they are, if I could know as well. Your personal skill, Fourth Wall, activated. The Fourth Wall detected the detection skill, the Eye of the Sage. Okay, so is the main character not going to be able to break the Fourth Wall? Is it? Yeah, it's going to stop him. He's not going to be able to break the Fourth Wall because he's just a character in the story. What? Personal skill, Fourth Wall, has blocked the Eye of the Sage. You? What are you? Sub-scenario escape, and we see same thing we saw before, 2 minutes 14 seconds remaining. And then we get cliffhung again. Alright, so I'm assuming we're ending on this last chapter, this next one. So this is really interesting. It's almost making my head spin, and I'm wondering why they're adding so much so quickly to throw in yet another meta concept of the main character who's been through multiple runs or whatever. But I guess we will learn more next chapter, so there's no point in speculating too much, rather than just going ahead and getting into it. Alright, last chapter for now. We're going into chapter 12 here. We're seeing what happened at the end of the last one. But even when we do get these recaps, the art is different each time, which is interesting. Or at least some of the art. Episode 12, Chapter 2, The Protagonist, Part 6. No way. And we see these fighter jets coming in. I had a skill that could block the Eye of the Sage. First this bookmark, and now the fourth wall. And we have comedy panels. I have to kill him here and now. Jung-hyuk. Wait. Damn it, I've complicated things. There's no way he'd believe me now. I have to change my game plan. You need a trustworthy ally. You can't clear Scenario 46 on your own. You know that, right? How do you know that? Are you also a regressor? Ah! That's gotta be what it means then. They said he's lost his humanity after regressing 3 times. A regressor must be somebody who can go back to the beginning of the game. So he's gone back to the beginning of the game 3 times. Okay. That is a satisfying explanation for how this works. Okay. What matters now isn't who I am. What's important is that I can be of use to you. Okay. He's not a regressor. If he was, I would know him. Then could he be? Jung-hyuk, I know the future you don't know. And then Jung-hyuk used skill, the lie detection skill, or has activated the lie detection skill. The lie detection skills verified that you're telling the truth. And he's shocked. This can't be. Could there be another prophet other than Anna Croft in Korea? Prophet, the only attribute in TWSA that allows a character to see into the future, and the only attribute to passively neutralize detection skills. To my knowledge, there was one character who had the Prophet attribute in the world of TWSA. By chance, are you able to use Future Sight? Something like that. So I knew you would be here. Yes. Jung-hyuk, I know you have a special power. You also know what's going to happen in the future, right? But you also know that the knowledge you have of the future is incomplete. Regressors know the future because they've repeated their lives several times over, but their futures will change if they change the present with that information. So all regressors will eventually reach a future they don't know unless they repeat everything they did in their past run. Make me your companion, and I can complete your knowledge of the future. Therefore, someone like Jung-hyuk would find it very attractive to have a prophet as a companion, and I can act as his prophet, because I was the only reader of this story. And then, if he is indeed a prophet, it would be helpful to bring him along. Not just for Scenario 46, but also for fighting the Zarathustra. But can I trust him? A companion. 50 seconds remaining until the end of the scenario. 40 seconds. I've made up my mind. I will make you my companion. Whoa. Wait, can you let... And then he's just stepping across with him. Deus Ex Machina, bridge of even numbers. And we get the explanation again. What do you think has happened to Dokcha? We'll have to wait and see. And he gets dragged across. Phew, I'm safe. I can't believe I managed to convince the regressor. You've become worn out due to excessive concentration. Personal skill Omniscient Reader's viewpoint deactivated. I'm still a bit anxious that my skill's being deactivated. But I've done everything I could. I convinced Jung-hyuk in no time, and I can now cross the... And they stop. One last question. If you really are a prophet, you'd be able to tell your own future, right? And then he lifts him up. Huh? I have a bad feeling about this. Prophesy. Prophecy? Because it should be like prophesize. I thought he was telling him to do it. Prophecy. Will I be letting go? Or not? Damn this psychopath. I know him better than anyone. If this bastard's the same Jung-hyuk that I've heard of. Let me tell you a couple of things first. What? First, I'm not your lackey, so treat me as your equal. Second, just as I cooperate with you, you have to promise to cooperate with me. I see. So your answer? Just let go already and get lost, you bastard. And he lets go of him. Alright. He starts yelling as he falls. I believe you. You really are a prophet. Ha! And he smiles as he's falling down into its mouth. That bastard. We get a shot of it chomping down. You failed to clear the scenario. And then we get cliffhung on that. What an insane cliffhanger. I mean, I obviously don't think he's dead. Like Dokja's the other guy is the main character. Junhyuk is the main character of TWSA, but Dokja is the main character of ORV, so like he's not dead. Either he's not dead or he's going to regress and we're just gonna jump back to the beginning. But yeah, either way, really good 4 chapters. I feel like in just 4 chapters, the game and our understanding of the way the world works has just drastically shifted so much. But it's just one of those things where we're still really early on. So I'm just excited. We gotta sort of wait and see where it goes from here. I'm excited because it's like I want to see where things go, but like we're still so early on that I really just don't know anything. But yeah, either way, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to sort of tell me what you thought of these chapters, my first thoughts and reactions. Subscribe for more Omniscient Reader, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, just ask and I can give you a link. It's free and open for anyone. And if you'd like to help support the channel on Patreon, it's patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description. If you want to help the channel out by joining and becoming a channel member, just right there below the video, there should be a little thing that you can click to join. Thank you to those of you who are already patrons and channel members. We have chosen regulars, Etchy Zero, Evan Holly, and Remorsefuls, Magical Girl, FR Nono, or FR Nono. I've seen them use both. Keratin Students, also the Storyteller, and David Langstaff, and Slayer Candidate SG. Thank you all so much for supporting, and thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you all next time.